deep within the hidden prison. The sterile silence of the hidden prison was punctuated only by the occasional footsteps of guards patrolling the cold, steel corridors. The air hung heavy with the scent of sanitizer and cold metal, a stark contrast to the dark energy pulsing within the facility's most secured cell. Here, Trinity Shinner lay still on her cot, her face a mask of serenity that belied the chaos brewing beneath. Her hand rested on her swollen abdomen, where an unnatural warmth radiated. The sinister energy growing within her was no longer subtle. It pulsed like a second heartbeat, sending ripples of power through her veins. Dark whispers that had once been faint echoes now grew stronger, more insistent, weaving promises of power and destruction. The sound of multiple footsteps echoing down the corridor drew Trinity's attention. Her crimson eyes snapped open, a wicked smile spreading across her lips as she sensed a familiar, malevolent presence. Though muted, the essence of Ultranacious Eternus was unmistakable. Her fingers traced circles on her stomach as she whispered, "So, the shadow still lingers." As the footsteps grew louder, Trinity sat up with deliberate grace. Through the reinforced bars, she watched as Shade and Karina escorted the trader toward a secure cell further down the hall. The trader's aura roiled with desperation and fear, but what caught Trinity's attention was the faint trace of Ultranacious Eternus's essence clinging to him like a shroud. "Still playing guard dog, Karina?" Trinity's voice slid through the air like silk over steel. "How far we've come from our days in the field together." Karina's steps faltered for just a moment, her shoulders tensing. Trinity caught the slight tremor in her former colleague's hand as it moved closer to her weapon, a tell she'd noticed long ago during their shared missions. Those days of partnership now seemed like a lifetime ago, before Trinity had revealed her true nature. Shade's sharp eyes flicked toward Trinity's cell, his presence a steady counterpoint to the tension radiating from Karina. But Trinity's focus remained on her former partner, noting how the years had changed her. Power radiated from Karina now, a curious blend of light and shadow, ancient and untapped. "Your new role suits you better than the old one," Trinity called after them, her voice dropping to a knowing whisper. "At least now you're honest about being a jailer." The group disappeared down the corridor, but Trinity leaned back against the cold wall with satisfaction. The whispers in her mind grew louder, and she felt the child within her respond to their dark symphony. "Soon," she murmured, crimson eyes narrowing. "Very soon, they'll remember why they fear the dark." In the depths of Alfheim, the wolf den lay shrouded in unnatural silence, broken only by the nervous whimpers of wolf pups huddled against their mother. Apart from the group, the corrupted pup stood watch, its lean frame casting long shadows in the dim light. Red eyes gleamed with malevolent intelligence as it observed its siblings, shadows coiling around its legs like living smoke. The mother wolf's ears lay flat against her head, her muscles tense as she watched her transformed child. Her muzzle was flecked with grey, not from age, but from the stress of bearing witness to her pup's corruption. When the Dark One moved, she would pull her other pups closer, her protective growl dying in her throat as instinctive fear overwhelmed maternal courage. The corrupted pup's movements were liquid shadow, each step leaving tiny patches of withered grass in its wake. The essence of Ultranacious Eternus had twisted it into something ancient and terrible, a creature of shadow wearing the skin of a wolf. Small animals fell silent at its approach, and even the ever-present glow of Alfheim's enchanted forests dimmed where it walked. Without warning, the pup's head snapped up as though hearing a call beyond mortal senses. Its siblings cowered as shadows writhed around it, thickening until they seemed to absorb all light. With unnatural speed, it bounded from the den, leaving a trail of darkness in its wake. The mother wolf's mournful howl echoed through the forest, a lament for a child lost to shadow. As the corrupted pup raced through Alfheim, the land itself seemed to recoil. Flowers closed their petals, Leaves curled inward, and the very air grew heavy with foreboding. The darkness trailing behind it whispered ancient promises, guiding it toward its dark purpose. The gathering storm. In the mortal realm, shadows lengthened as Trinity's power grew. Each day brought her child closer to birth, while in Alfheim, the corrupted pup carved a path of darkness through the enchanted forest. Throughout the realms, those sensitive to power felt the growing discord, a symphony of shadow building to a crescendo. Draven, still reeling from the loss of the celestial gem, nursed his wounds in secret chambers. His once mighty power had dimmed, but his thirst for revenge burned brighter than ever. In darker corners, whispers spread of Ravina's desperate search for the Void Stone, her actions growing more reckless with each passing day. The balance between realms wavered, light and darkness gathering their forces for the battles to come. The legacy of Ultranacious Eternus pulsed through it all, in Trinity's unborn child, in the corrupted pup, in the trader's tainted aura, and in the hearts of those who sought power at any cost. The war was coming, and its shadow would darken every realm before the end.